Hello and welcome to the OCR report. My name is Jason Dupree, and I've got with me Miles Keller, and this is the live replay coverage of the third race in the US National Series for Spartan for 2025. Coming at you from Big Bear in California. Miles, how's it going, buddy?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm so excited to see who's going to start pulling ahead, what happens in the series points. I got the OCR dog here, Harmony. Got my golden doodle to come watch the commentate with us. I can't wait to see one of the most beautiful venues, arguably, that Spartan does a race in. You can't go wrong with that ski resort. It looks like an absolutely beautiful day, followed by that previous second race in the National Series that looked just as beautiful. It's very picturesque. So I can't wait to see who showed up, how they do, how things shake up. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're right. We have had some really good weather for the series thus far, so hopefully it continues at Utah. Utah is usually pretty sunny and quite bright, quite hot later in the day. The elites get lucky and get to go early. But let's go ahead and jump into this. This is a little bit longer of a race since we're on a mountain and there's a lot of elevation. So let's start off with looking at the course itself. All right, Big Bear Mountain Ski Resort. There was a trifecta weekend, so they had the Sprint, the Super, and the Beast. The Beast, this is interesting how they did the series because they've got the Sprint Elite race on Saturday before the Beast. So the Beast did run, and another Elite race happened after the Sprint, but it wasn't for the series. So the Beast on Saturday, and the Super and Sprint again on Sunday. But the sprint course started off going straight up the mountain, and this mountain is just no joke. It's just got such steep hills. You can see the elevation here, starting out around 7,000 feet, getting to the top of the course around 8,000. Over the course of the course, we've got about 1,500 feet of elevation gain. Miles, why don't you talk us
It's
through
quite a
some of the
bit.
obstacles here?
Well, home, before we go on to, I want to point out what's really interesting when you overlaid the Super and the Beast. Obviously, this is a trifecta weekend. What's interesting is that the Super and the Beast course look very similar to each other in the way that both go up, go down, and then go back up again. Whereas today, as you can see there on the screen, we're just going to be going up and then going down. And it looks like that first section right there is going to be quite the hike up. So obviously, a ski resort. Anytime you have an obstacle course race at one of these ski resorts, you can they usually either going to start or end on one of the steep climbs, and that looks like exactly what we're doing right here. So, kind of true Spartan fashion, we're starting off with the 4-foot walls into the hurdles. This is very common in most even though every Spartan race they're gonna vary it up. There's sometimes some similarities and some staples, and I think the 4-foot walls and the hurdles, that is always going to be kind of a staple where they begin with, right? We see that in many of the races. What's interesting, as we see here coming into after the hurdles, coming into the third obstacle, is right as you get up here to the top. Now, that's quite a bit of elevation climbing. You're pretty tired. Just because it's at the beginning of the race, don't let that fool you. As you can see, we'll see here in the footage, it's quite a good climb up top. The guys are worn out. This is competitive, so they're racing as hard as they can. They're trying to keep each other in eyes and striking distance, and it's right into a sandbag carry. So you're really, really tired, and this is where you can lose or make up a lot of time, depending on whether or not you know how to throw that bag on immediately, not try and catch your breath, throw it on, run with it as fast as you possibly can, put it down, and get right back into that run, doing a smooth in, smooth out. That's the name of the game. Now, whether or not some of these guys will be able to do it will be interesting to see, because they might not be from somewhere they might not live at elevation. They might live at sea level, or they may not train at elevation. So this could have quite the effect, especially if it's someone who's chasing the series right now. And hey, maybe that's not their jam. That's not their strength, is doing a race at elevation, but they really don't have a choice. Because the way I understand it, this is the best of, correct me if I'm wrong, best of 5, and you can drop one race.
Best 3 out of 4. 3 out of
Best
4.
3 out of 4, I'm sorry. Okay. And so you can drop one race. So depending on your schedule, so on and so forth. They might not be able to skip this if they want to be contending for the podium in the overall U.S. National Series. So we'll see how that goes. Back to the obstacles. So we see after the sandbag carry, you're going to get the vertical cargo net, right? And into more hurdles. These are all not too spread apart. Into a couple of different classic Spartan obstacles, being the plate drag and barbed wire crawl. Now I call those obstacles, really those are laborious tasks, right? Those are just kind of feats of strength. The plate drag, that could always, believe it or not, depending if you pick the wrong lane, could always kind of really labor you if you got to work harder to pull that chain with the sandbag and a plate. And everyone will see that if you've never seen it before. Then, of course, the barbed wire crawl, depending on how long the barbed wire crawl is. What's interesting there, Jason, right, is we see on the map, it just is barbed wire crawl number 2. We don't know how long it is by looking at that. And you can't tell on the course map beforehand. So it's always, unless you've seen the course the day before, which is very rare, this could really throw a wrench inside your game plan when you're running the race.
And it is barbed wire crawl number 2 because of the Beast course has a barbed wire crawl on it. So it actually is just the only barbed wire crawl on the sprint. And it is uphill too.
Okay. Well, I feel bad for the guys doing the Beast because 2 barbed wire crawls is always really hard. Okay, so then we get into the Atlas carry, another staple. And then right after the Atlas carry, and I remember you and me speaking earlier, you said that the helix and the monkey bars were not there, correct? And then it goes straight to the inverted wall rope.
Right, so what we have here on the map says helix monkey bars, but there's actually inverted wall and then Z-wall after that before the rope climb. And then the only other difference here is where it says craft A-frame cargo, there was a wooden bridge, and you have to crawl underneath that wooden bridge instead.
Okay, that's cool. I always like it when they add the already existing terrain or a broken log or something like that, or bales of hay, and they kind of make a whole nother obstacle out of it. Even though it's not on the map, it's a little extra bonus obstacle, right? And what I really like about this layout here, you see this ending gauntlet. We have, what is this, 7, 8, 9 obstacles really close together, all at the end. This is really spectator friendly. This is all around the venue there at the ski resort, so everyone gets a really good view to watch their loved ones, the people they're rooting for, just the sportsmanship of the elite field, being able to see them battle each other out. This is really easy for everyone to do. And actually kind of think that was a good idea. Spartan did the whole U.S. National Series is just sprints. It's easier for media coverage. It's easier for spectators, as you just can't expect everyone to see the elites battling it out 12 miles out into the boonies, right? Where a lot of these races are usually in remote rural locations. But my favorite part of this whole layout.
It's definitely made it easier on me, I'll say that.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine the challenges. A special shout out to everyone who was a rabbit that helped the OCR report put on, to gather all this footage and put all this on, and all the volunteers there at Spartan. Thank you so much for what you're doing, because OCR does not happen without you. But look at these last 3. You know what's really interesting about the last 3? Being a bucket carry. So no matter how you carry this bucket, you're going to maybe tire out your shoulders. If you grip it in the front, you're going to tire out your grip. And then we're going to put you through the slip wall, right? So you could easily, you get your hands wet, right? It's going to be a little easier. You're taxing your grip a little bit. And then, in the first time and as long as I can remember, I'm sure this has happened before, but I honestly can't remember off the top of my head the last time they did this, but it's the spear throw is the final obstacle. Now that is just, as everyone who's ever done the spear throw, I don't care how many times you practice it, how good you are at it, you could mess it up on any given day. As soon as you've hit that spear, I don't care if you've done 10 races and you've hit it every single time, you could easily miss it the 11th time. You never know. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen, and that would just throw a monkey wrench. If you're neck to neck and you've battled this whole way to the very end, right, to try and get that podium place or beat that someone you've been trying to beat, and then you just miss that spear throw, and remember, there's no penalties anymore. I know some, if I remember right, with the spear throw, they are doing the burpees still, correct,
Yes.
Jason?
Yep. The penalty for the spear throw is burpees. 30 burpees.
Yeah. So imagine you're right there. You're in podium contention, or you're about to hit your goal, and then it's just a slip of the spear. Maybe you just threw it slightly wrong, you miss it, and now you got to do 30 burpees, and there's no catching up for that. Especially in the elite field. I've said it before, and I was wrong in the last race where I said usually if you miss your spear throw, you're out of podium contention. But that's not what happened in the ladies' race in Charlotte in the second race of the U.S. National Series. I'm not sure how it turns out on this. I don't know how that race shows up, so we'll see. But it's going to be a really exciting race for sure in a very beautiful venue.
One of the last times I do remember the spear throw being at the end of a race was last year's World Championships when Ryan Atkins got it, and I think it was Gregory Basilico, I think was in front of him. Unless I'm blanking, but yeah, Ryan got it and turned around and flipped off the spear throw as he ran in across the finish line. The only other thing I'll say about those last obstacles is that the multi-rig is a little different. It is a single section of monkey bars to a section of rings and then a section of twister. So it's 3 sections long with those 3 implementations. So a little different than what we normally see.
Because, Jason, weren't they trying to standardize the course there for a long time? And for the longest time, the last couple of years now, right, we've seen where the rig has indeed been standardized. They can switch up super and beast. That's when you would normally see it switched up. But for the most part, you would just see 3 rings to a bar to 3 rings on a sprint for the rig. So, actually, but in true Spartan ethos, hey, they're wanting people to be able to dig down deep and have that mental grit and be able to pivot when something new pops up in your way, right? You need to be able to do that in life. Things won't always flow smoothly.
And we hear a lot of things, and standardization, not standardization. I don't know. They're always trying something new. It seems like, which is good. We want to see new things, so I won't complain there. But real quick before we jump to the footage, just a quick recap on the series itself. We had the Jacksonville Sprint and the Charlotte Sprint, and now this is the Big Bear Sprint, and then followed by Utah in July, and then the Pan American Championships is going to be back in Seattle on September 13th, but notice that it is not a sprint. It is a beast.
Oh, okay. It says sprint there.
At the Pan American Championships at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Those that are interested in rabbiting, please come help out for that one in Seattle because we'll need all hands for that beast. I covered it by myself last year. It was tough.
Well, that's an interesting decision, though, Jacob. Why do you think they decided to make the beast for the Pan American Championships? Because you imagine all year long they've been. It's kind of different energy pathways, right? It's you're going from faster, shorter distance to this kind of endurance. The guys that run the longer distances. It's an interesting decision.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
It is a very interesting decision. So while we're looking at the start line here, we're going to talk about the people that are there, and then we're going to talk about. We've got a little bit of time before they take off, so we do want to talk about where the series currently is, where the standings are, and kind of make some predictions here. But you see John Howard III there with the pizza headband, Dustin Needham with all the tattoos and lots of tattoos on lots of guys. But we've got Matteo. Say his last name for me. I know you're good at it.
Is it Matteo? Is it Giovanni? It's not Giovanni. Bon Giovanni. No. That's Claudia, right?
That's Claudia, right?
I'm forgetting his last name in the moment. Forgive me.
Pelizza.
Pelizza. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's so cool. We had talked about that last race. Him and Claudia, both elite members in the Italian national team, they've been showing up and following the U.S. National Series and doing fantastic. So it's kind of cool to have our OCR brethren from across the pond come over and compete and hang out with us.
And I know Jeff Shady is in this start line somewhere, but I'm not sure I don't think I see him. Those in the chat, if you see the gentleman with the white beard, I know you guys know him. I've seen him around. I just don't know his name off the top of my head. Please put that in the chat for us. And we've also got Giovanni Mendoza over on the right with the fluffy hair and beard. He was way on the right behind the guy in the yellow shorts. Let's real quick. Let's look at the series leaderboard currently. And the main thing I want to point out here is that Adam Beach is not here. Mike Strobel is not here. Matteo's there, but a lot of these other names are not there. But these are all the guys that have done well at maybe one race. Adam Beach has done 2. Mike Strobel's done 2. Matteo is going to be the only one that's done 3 as of this race so far. So he'll have all 3 races covered. But I'm pretty sure he's still going to go to Utah too.
Yes,
so this is what it looks like now. Go ahead.
Yeah, we saw that in that last race. It really kind of threw the points around much more so than in the ladies' field. And I get it. Maybe that last race on the East Coast, this one on the West Coast. If there happens to be, even though you're not chasing U.S. National Series, there's an obstacle course race in your area. You're going to show up and you're going to do it, and you want to compete with the best. But it still throws off the points a whole bunch in the overall, and it'd be interesting to see. It seems like I wonder why you don't see that as much in the ladies' field as we'll see coming up here. But really cool to see. And the way I understand is that Adam Beach is not at this race. You were saying,
Correct.
Jason?
I expect to see him in Utah, but yeah, you're right. And that's the thing about it is after this race, this being the third of 4 races, we're going to see a lot of these names just drop off because they've only done one race, so they won't be eligible for the point series itself.
And I didn't see Mike Strobel in the lineup.
Yeah, he was
there?
He was. Oh no, he's not there on the lineup. He's not racing today.
Okay, I mean,
just real quick,
he is very close in points with Elisa. So
yeah.
It would have behooved him to show up at this race. I'm really surprised he didn't. It is not a big gap in between him and Pelizza. So, Matteo. So it'll be interesting to see how this turns out, but I will stop talking now.
Definitely hope to see him at Utah, though, for sure. But the women are going to take off a minute behind the men in this race. So here's the women's leaderboard currently. Again, a lot of people with only one race, but we've got more women with 2 or 3 races than we do men. Actually, there's more men with 2 races, but there's more women with 3 races. Cassandra Gill, Claudia Bongiovanni, Kaci Monroe, Sandra Buhagiar, and that may be it.
Yeah, that was impressive. Both the top 4 ladies showed up in the first and second race in the series, and all placed exactly the same. So it's much more uniform in the ladies' camp here. But we'll see who showed up today on the West Coast and see how it shakes everything up. Because I do not believe I don't think Imagine Cross. I don't believe she's here.
So he's giving them a lot of pump up here, but I think they do the national anthem first. So I think we still got some time. Yeah, You can see the girl standing over on the right in the black. She's going to sing.
And once again, like you were saying,
there she is.
Well, you were mentioning that the temperature out here is really nice, though. It's about 55 degrees. So it's just a perfect day. And it's going to heat up. Early May, this is going to heat up fast. There we go. We got 54 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 degrees Celsius for our friends from overseas. And this is going to be perfect running weather, especially when you're about to go straight up the mountain. And you're gonna climb at least 1,000 feet right off the bat when your heart is pumping and the adrenaline's pumping from the competition. You prepared and worked hard preparing for this race, and it's race day, and you're psyched up, and you're going to go out with everyone fast, and you're going to go right up that mountain. And let me tell you, it can be humbling. You think you're going to run all the way to the top until about 200 meters in. You quickly realize, hey, I might power walk. I might power hike some of this.
That's right. I'll go ahead and preface that the volume is down right now. I know we do have somebody singing the national anthem, but the national anthem does give a lot of issues when it comes to copyright on YouTube. So we're going to go ahead and just keep it down just to not have to worry about that. And um, hopefully us chatting, even though it's happening and we can't hear it, doesn't, everybody's okay with that. We don't want to leave just dead air here.
The
But
gentleman on the far right, he got blood cupping a lot.
yeah,
Sweet mother of mercy. Wasn't the last race there was a gentleman there that had like a bunch of the marks from the blood cupping, and that gentleman looks to have like
yeah,
20
yeah,
on
you're
his
right.
back. He went hard.
All right. So they're getting close to taking off here. We've got some of us stationed up on the mountain, so as they run up, we're going to get to capture them coming up the mountain. And yeah, it's just steep. Temperature was nice, but it's just heck of steep, man.
Yeah, especially for you and me here in Texas. It is flat. We live at sea level, and I mean they're starting at what do we say 7,000 feet of
Yeah.
elevation gain. So if you're not acclimated to this, and you just show up for race day, ooh, that looks like a fun race, and you're not acclimated to elevation, and you show up to start at 7,000, and you're gonna go climb another 1,500, it can be disorienting. Some people get the elevation sickness, but I think a lot of the guys that showed up today, they're actually from places. They're at elevation and are ready to take this on. I know, obviously, I'm real happy to see John Howard. He's a staple there in California. You'll see him in all the obstacle course races in California, and he's an elite athlete for sure. A wonderful gentleman. And then Dustin Needham has just been having a great year. He's a fantastic athlete in his own right.
Jeff
I
Shady, I
don't know what
believe,
he
is
does.
standing next to Dustin, in between Dustin and John Howard. He made his way to the start line now.
Okay.
And that's Jill Lebedzinski is the race director. She was race director last year, and I believe she race directed Utah as well. So I imagine seeing her there again this year too. All right, we're getting ready to take off here.
That's nice you gave her a shout out. I don't think we shout out the race directors often enough, right? Like they design the
I
course and
definitely
they work
deserve it.
really
Yeah,
hard. Yeah, they deserve. We should do more of that. I'm gonna
yeah, for sure.
do my due diligence and try and do that more.
Is he getting ready to
There you
send
go,
him
the
out?
classic start.
Yep.
You see everyone grab their wrists and get ready to start their wristwatches.
Making this clock a little smaller.
They're great MC.
I just did that live. I shouldn't have done that, but that's okay.
Oh.
All right, so like I said, the women are going to start about a minute later. So we're going to stay here and watch them. I'm not going to reset the clock because they're so close together. I don't want to have to jump back and forth between the clock, but we'll just keep that in mind that the women are going to be just about a minute behind them. There's Claudia on the left, Sabrina next to her in the black top, Cassandra Gill in the jacket, Casey Monroe in the green top, Riverbend CBD.
Riverbend. Yep.
Allie Tippets in the black shirt, but she's gonna. Oh, somebody taking off late.
I would definitely say those are the ladies to watch, right, Jason? Those four names specifically
absolutely.
You just mentioned.
Allie Tippets with the colorful top. Yep, right at a minute.
Wow, nice. That's fast. I tell you what, these ladies, they're fast enough. You got the Alexandra Walkers of the world. They'll use that as incentive to go hunt down those guys, pick them off one at a time. Gives you a little extra incentive.
That's
Gonna
right.
go catch souls.
All right, we got some people coming up the mountain. Right off the bat, you can see. It might be hard to tell, but that is Matteo out in front.
And you were saying earlier, Jason, that this video footage does not do the elevation justice. Like looking at this, it doesn't. That looks like a very small hill. It doesn't look like much elevation, but it's very deceiving. Correct?
Yeah, really, you got to pan out because it looks like you're looking flat, but you're really not. And when you pan out, you can see, oh, there's a giant lake way down there. Like you're way up the hill.
Yeah, I mean,
Look
in
at
most
everybody
races,
else is
you never
hiking.
see the elite males power hiking this early on in the race. They just started. They just got out the starting corral,
Yeah,
and they're already
Mateo's the
power
only
hiking.
one really still running. There's a
Women
couple of
look
them
like-
still running, but a lot of them are power hiking for sure. There goes Matteo power hiking already.
There's the women.
They might just want to try and maintain a lead and stay out ahead. Yeah, that power hiking technique is a fantastic way to go. Really take some of the stress off your legs by pushing down your knees, making it a little easier on your legs to extend out your legs as you climb up.
Really spreading out here. Got Matteo in front. I think Jeff Shady's right behind him.
Now, I don't know what part of Italy Matteo is from, but you think about the Dolomites, and there is some very mountainous regions of Italy that are very beautiful. And so they're no stranger to these mountains, and he may be very well acclimated to these mountain races. I'd be interested to see how he's done in the past, the Italian series and the mountain races over there. I was not familiar with him until until he started the U.S. National Series.
I mean, he's really putting a gap on there.
Yeah, and this kind of gives it now with this perspective. It kind of does it a little more justice. You can kind of see it just how much elevation gain we're looking at here.
And it just keeps going. Remember, we got a mile to the sandbag.
You can see the shadow of the rabbit there.
That'd be me.
Good on you, man. You're right up there with him. That was not easy. You were at the bottom, correct?
No, I was pretty much at the wall. But we got Jeff
Okay.
Shady in second, Dustin Needham in third. Dustin trying to make a push here. I'd say Dustin's a great athlete, but I wouldn't say you typically see him up in top 3 early in the race. So either he's charging or just feeling really good, one or the other.
There's something so special about being there. Even though you are sucking wind at this point and doing everything you can to keep moving, it's so quiet up there. And there's that fresh piney scent of those long pines. Absolutely beautiful. You can look at the footage and almost kind of remember what it smells like to be out there. Fresh air, nice cool 55 degrees, and it's just absolutely soothing to be in nature and to be able to have the health and the ability to be able to compete at this level and go to these races and do this. As hard as it is, it's worth every step.
You see Dustin, like, he doesn't even look like he's power hiking. He's just trying to get up that hill, man.
Gotta survive. Yeah, it's a hell of a hill. I like the rudder shorts on this gentleman right here.
Yeah.
Reminds me of who's our chiropractor friend? Ryan. Who's the other Ryan? I'm drawing a blank right now. From North Carolina. He always used to wear those same
Woods.
Yeah, Ryan
Yeah,
Woods.
Woods.
He always had you wear those split shorts, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That gentleman right there
He
is
did.
rocking them.
All right, got the truck coming up to push some of these guys up the hill.
Yeah, see, I need that. Why isn't that truck behind me when I'm at these races? I need someone yelling at me in that truck. Come on. Speed your butt up. I'm going to hit you. Maybe out of the fear of life in me, I'll be able to get up this hill faster.
So we've got Giovanni in fourth, followed by the gentleman with the white beard, which I don't believe. I've got somebody in the chat saying Jill Keating saying it's Dana, possibly Dana Christopher, but I don't believe so. Looking at the results, I don't think so. I could be wrong, though. Mateo's way up there. He's got a good lead now.
Yeah, he's maintaining a gap there. You know,
Gap
we were talking
between
about
1, 2,
earlier
3,
about,
and 4. Pretty big. Well, 4 and 5 is right behind him.
yeah, 4 and 5 right there. We were talking earlier about, you know, keeping your competition within striking distance, and it's looking like this is where you're going to have that opportunity to lose line of sight with the competition as it starts turning here, getting around the woods. This is where you can play mental games. If you could break that line of sight, you could really kind of break down the competition behind you mentally.
That's right, and this course definitely has a lot of those points where you're going around a turn and then you end up just dropping down a hill or going back up another one.
Are there sections of this course, Jason, that are single track? Because so far everything looks very wide.
Not in the sprint. Well, if there is, it's like very short, very small piece of woods going from one ski hill to another, but really there's not much. Let's see, do we have... Should be getting close to the men getting up to the sandbag, and then the women. We're going to see the women starting to come up here now.
Oh yeah, here they are picking the men off one at a time. There's Kaci.
We've got Allie and Kaci. Yep, right next to each other. Sabrina's right behind them. Look at that real far lean by Kaci.
Claudia.
Yeah, and you see, notice how she's taking smaller steps.
Cassandra.
Smaller steps, not as large, less energy demanding, and
That's what I like to do.
She's making really good progress.
When I'm hiking up a hill, I definitely prefer the smaller steps over the bigger ones. They're looking good, though.
Is that Allie Tippets to the left of Kaci Monroe?
Yep, that's Allie Tippets. Sabrina's right on their tail.
She keeps adjusting her sports bra. I wonder if that's like bothering her. There's something about that. We could all kind of understand how annoying that would be sometimes if you got a top that's not. You know, you were wearing one of the heart rate straps that goes on your chest, Jason. And as you're running, it's going down your lats towards your stomach, and you keep having to readjust it. It's such a pain.
Right.
I always thought to myself, is this what women have to deal with? It's got to be a pain in the butt.
This little stretch here, even though they're running, it's still slightly uphill. Like you can see Sabrina hiking a little bit.
Yeah, she's moving good. Wow, look at those small strides, go fast. And Sabrina's doing her best to stay in there.
Like the course overall just does not really give you a good, obviously you got the downhills, but the downhills are so steep too, it's hard to run fast, So you can easily just eat it.
The great thing about climbing up at the beginning is that you know what? I'm going to be going down in a little bit. And I can bomb the downhill. I can regain my breath and my heart rate on the downhill by just let gravity do its thing.
We've got Cassandra making a move, starting to pull up towards the other ladies.
Yeah, you can see her there kind of taking advantage of the downhill. You see where she's taking deeper breaths as she's coming down. There we go. There's Cassandra. She's keeping the competition in striking distance. I mean, she's the whole series leader at this point. She has a very good lead. And so there's less pressure on her, and she's just trying to play it smart. And it looks like, I bet you any money, she's just going to run her race. And she knows what she needs to do to maintain that lead.
That's right.
Like we said earlier, there's only one more race in the series. Utah, coming up in July.
Yeah, just that little nice slight downhill gave them the room to start leaving me. It really started making it hard on me to keep up with them. But again, more climbing, right up into another climb here. Heading on up. The guys still are not at the sandbag yet.
I'm interested to see why Cassandra there has the jacket on still. You think she'd be really hot at this point?
Well, it's very sunny, but it's still very cool air, and
okay.
When the wind blows, it's very cold. Yeah, it can be pretty chilly.
Okay, so was it pretty windy?
At times.
Okay.
It definitely wasn't like a windy day. You know, it can get very windy up there too, but at times the breeze would come through and it's chilly. But for as hard as they're running, as hard as they're pushing, I am very surprised to see her with the jacket on. I need to ask her about that next time I see her.
Yeah, I mean, she's running her race like we were mentioning earlier. I'm sure she knows her body real well, and I'm sure it's all part of her strategy.
Look how steep this is. This is crazy.
Yeah, no, it doesn't usually look steep on video, but even this looks extremely steep.
It really does.
This has got to be 30% grade or greater, what it looks like.
And Cassandra's taking some big steps.
Oh, yeah. For any of you that don't understand the magnitude of how difficult it is at this kind of steep grade to climb up it, go on a treadmill. If you can find an incline trainer, the normal one in the gym usually just goes to 15%. You have to get on an incline trainer to go jack it up all the way to 30. But this looks to be at least 30% grade. And then just try and do 2 to 3 minutes on there and see how that feels. It is, like I said earlier, very humbling.
If you like what we're doing, don't forget to join us. You can join us on Patreon for $5 a month or more, and all that proceed goes to helping put on this coverage and race results that we put out on Instagram and the obstacle videos that we put out. Every little bit helps.
Make sure to like and subscribe too. Comment down below. The algorithm loves all of that. Keep supporting us every way you can. It's always free to like and subscribe.
Absolutely, and I'm watching the chat, so if you got any good stuff to say, let us know. Any good insights? Anybody out there that ran the race, that ran the course, let us know. Still waiting on the guys up at the sandbag carry.
I mean, you see how much they were huffing and puffing. Can you imagine getting there to the top and someone handing you a sandbag? I did the trifecta weekend in Greece year before last. I remember getting to the top of the mountain, and over in Europe they use chains and sandbags, and so it was you throw a chain around your neck and you carry that around. It's a big navy chain, and then you grab a sandbag, and when I put down the sandbag, there was more chains. I was a broken man. I was like, no, you guys can't be serious. They were serious. I did it, and I complained the whole way, and I usually don't complain. I was being a little baby. There you go. Looks like it's starting to straighten up there, and they'll be able to pick up the pace a little bit. Cassandra is still in striking distance. Keep an eye on him. Now, do we know where Cassandra Gill is from, Jason?
Shoot. Not exactly.
I don't remember.
There's the men.
I looked her up on Instagram, I think, before, and I don't remember what state she's from. But that could be huge into the play of how well she's going to do at a mountain course.
Yeah, I do believe she's more East Coast based.
Okay.
If not, definitely not Rockies. Here, keep an eye on the women. Got the guys finally getting up to the sandbag carry.
John Howard's a good friend. I'm really rooting for him. Love to see him do
Jeff
really well here on
Shady
a home course.
has caught up and passed Matteo.
Oh, wow. Well, Matteo got out hot. You saw how much he was holding the charge up the hill.
That's right.
And sometimes you will pay consequences for that. But he's a fantastic athlete, and he obviously knows his body, and he's looks like he too is running his own race.
They do go over a little bit of snow at the bottom of this sandbag carry, and you can see, I mean, he's trucking it down there. So when you hit that snow, you got to be really careful not to slip and go right on your butt.
Was it soft snow or was it more packed, icy snow?
Yeah, packed icy. Like it's kind of softer because of the sun's out, but it's not fluffy.
Okay.
By any means. And it's on that downhill too, so you really got to be careful going across it.
You know, it's usually kind of, I always called it the OCR curse, that most races the weather is really bad 2 days before, day of. It's usually very sloppy and muddy. The more important the race, the more chance there is it's going to be really sloppy weather. And we just haven't seen that this season, right? This whole U.S. National Series has been really nice weather, one after another, with the exception of, remember in Charlotte in race number 2 here in the U.S. National Series, it had rained really bad the day before, so it was still pretty muddy. But on the U.S. National Series race day, the following day, it was pretty nice out.
Yeah, not nearly as muddy, or that rain wasn't nearly as bad as we've seen, like you're saying on this previous years. Didn't quite catch who that was coming down in third.
If people are training for these races, it's good.
That was
every
Giovanni.
once in a while. Oh, nice. Yeah, I see him trudging
Giovanni
down.
in fourth, I believe. Maybe not.
Yeah, it's good sometimes to train in the bad weather, so you're used to it come race day, because there'll definitely be a race day where it's not lightning, it's not thunder. That's the only time they pretty much stop these races and postpone them, is when there's lightning. But if it's just raining, it's still game on, and you need to be able to have that mental grit to keep pushing through and treat it as if it's not raining. Yeah, good on him. Look at him pick up the pace right out of the sandbag.
We're going to see something interesting here, because this is where the sprint and the beast course merge back together. And Jeff's going to do the right thing here and go over the vertical cargo. But we might see this trip up some people here in a second.
There you go, capitalizing on the downhill.
Yeah, our rabbit here is going to try and stay with Jeff, but I know Jeff is going to be flying. All right, we do have up at the sandbag carry now. The women are going to be coming onto the sandbag carry in just a moment, but this is going to be a good shot of that snow down at the bottom of it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do a little switch here.
This is always my favorite part.
Keep up with Jeff.
Downhill. These ladies are very close together. They have not left each other's side.
Yeah, they got a great battle going on.
Nice job.
And that's the spot right there. Look at her. Like, that's a hard spot to make a quick turn. Walking back up is just about as hard as it is, hiking the hill itself. But that coming down and hitting the brakes, you pretty much can't hit the brakes in the snow. If you do, you're just going to slip and fall. So you got to wait till you get to the mud at the bottom, and then you slip and fall.
Knowing me, I was
just heading around the corner there. Oh yeah, bombing the hills is the best part. All right, Jeff is getting over the the hurdles there. So he's made it over the second set of hurdles. Heading down the mountain, we might even see another guy catch up to our Rabbit Scott. We'll come back to him if they do. So I ran the Beast after we did this, and hiking up there with that sandbag, I got the biggest side stitch because I had my hands over my head holding on to the bag, kind of like Kaci and Allie's doing. And man, I had to take a second. I had to take a second and get some water. There's a water stop right after this, and let that side stitch go away.
That's wild. We got the side stitch. A lot of people battle that by having their arms raised while they're running like that. It's interesting that happened to you like that.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, good on
still
you.
Not
though.
far behind.
Yeah, I can't believe you did the Beast on this course. This is.
It was a very hard beast. So I've been saying this quite a few times. I ran, I basically did the sprint with the elites, and then I ran the Beast, and basically did 7,500 feet of gain, 6,500 feet. And
wow.
My legs in that 15 miles have been more trashed over the past few days than they were when I did 45 miles at Toughest Atlanta.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's saying something. You've had a heck of a schedule, too, though. You're running back and forth all over, flying around to these races, coming back for family obligations. It's a lot.
Yeah, go back to vert cargo.
Yeah. So you can hear them shouting there. Guys in the background, they took a wrong turn right before vertical cargo. And they ended up going left instead of going over the cargo net.
Do we know who did that accidentally?
I know Dustin Needham did for sure. Maybe John Howard.
Oh, wow.
And that
that
might be why Jeff is out by himself. Here we got Jeff coming down the hill. Here, let's get some ladies in the inset there. Woo, let them go.
And so this is, being at this kind of elevation gain, this is a much longer sprint than normal. It's not unheard to see sprints that are 26, 28 minutes long, things like that. And so we're already 24 minutes in and nowhere near the end.
Now you can start to see all these guys pouring through because they have taken that wrong turn. There goes the gentleman with the white beard and Dustin. And some more guys. Trying to remember who I waited for here. Sabrina in third.
He had a very wide cadence there. He's going to shorten his stride. There you go. He's going to get some fuel. There's something you don't normally see in a sprint, going back to what I was saying before. This is obviously a harder and longer sprint than normal.
Yeah, and definitely hiking these hills is going to be taking more energy out of you as well. Here, let's take a look at the women flying down the hill. These girls are hard to keep up with, man. Jeff is going under the barbed wire crawl.
They're bombing the downhill. They're absolutely flying. And it looks like
how he's kind of crawling uphill here.
Yeah, I thought for sure they would put it on the downhill. It looked like it was on the downhill side of the course, but apparently no, we're going up. And once again, that looks pretty steep. I'm going to beg a guess that's why he's not rolling. It's obviously might be more difficult to roll in this case when it's that steep.
Who we got behind him? Looks like Giovanni. Giovanni in second coming up to the barbed wire crawl as well. He may not have made that mistake and taken the left turn. He may have gotten some luck from that. The ladies scrambling. A little section of scrambling up rocks. This is Christy Sanchez rabbiting right now, hanging with Jeff. How about that? Great job, Christy.
Yeah, all of our rabbits are pretty great athletes in their own right. We've had many of the elites rabbit for us, and once again, thank you to them for doing this, because without everyone, we couldn't get this footage.
Yeah, Christy is often in our results post.
I think it's a product of everyone in this the OCR community. We love this sport so much. Even if we can't race it for one reason or another, we want to be there to support our friends and to see the competition. And that's why it's so important what we're doing here on the OCR report, because we want to bring this. We want to bring the sport to the world and bring the coverage, so you don't miss out on home while you're having FOMO. Because I know I am.
I don't know who that was on the barbed wire crawl in, right behind Jeff. We're about to see in a second, I think. We got the ladies coming up. So we've got them on camera there, but we're going to wait till it might be Matteo. Maybe it was just dark in the shade and it was hard to tell, because that's Giovanni right there. Here we got the ladies. Still neck and neck. Kaci just a little bit ahead. Me dying.
I like the timing. I like the timing on that. That was great comedic timing. Man, they made quick work of that and right back into the run.
Coming up to the barbed wire crawl, there's you can see in the blue shirt on the left, that's our rabbit Scott. So he's up there with Giovanni, and Christy is with. Oh, she had a shot of him. She can get the camera pointed down. While we're waiting for that, Sabrina's on the plate drag.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We lost the front guys anyway. Tough break, man.
So this is going to be off in the distance, but yeah, that I'm almost positive that's Matteo heading down the hill. So we'll come back to him if we get some eyes on. There he is.
So it looks
Sabrina's
like so far,
done.
Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, the majority of this course is strictly up and down this mountain. It doesn't seem to be any side shoots.
You know, we've seen a little bit of running. Yeah, not really any side shoots. There was that one little scramble, but mostly, yeah, it's just really intense up and down. Let's jump to the ladies on the barbed wire.
Look at that. You know we're definitely not in Texas. In Texas, you got those barbed wire crawls through the you might have an anthill. You might have those spiky weeds. Look at that. It looks like very crawlable dirt. Very jealous.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And there's a little bit of grass mixed in there, too.
Yeah, this whole course has been very, other than being very difficult, very runnable. Even right there, you see it's not as undulating.
I do. Yeah, you can see Casey Monroe has put a little gap on Allie here. There she is.
Yeah, she is about to catch that gentleman. It seems almost like she's been hunting him down for this past mile. And there she goes. She's gonna. You don't see Casey Monroe power very much.
She's definitely a good mountain athlete. That's for sure.
For sure. She has a lot of experience doing it.
Oh, having a little trouble on the downhill. It's really tough on those steep downhills, keeping hold of your gimbal and keeping it straight. Here, we'll come back whenever things get evened out. Lady's still hiking up.
That's the other gentleman. We're not sure of his name.
With the white beard, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Casey make it through. That's Casey on the left. So, real quick, let's look at the let's see, the splits for when they were at the, we're kind of far past it now, but the splits for the men when they were at vertical cargo. We had Jeff in first, Matteo in second, John Howard the third in third. But look at the time gap there, 3 minutes. That had to have been from them going up that hill.
Yeah, and also we think that maybe John Howard III was one of them that accidentally went off course.
Yeah, I believe
That
so.
obviously threw a bunch of people off.
Got Casey at the Atlas carry.
Making quick work of it.
And for the women at the vertical cargo, Casey was in first, Allie was in second. We still got that. And Sabrina's not on there. Something must have happened with the results right there, because Sabrina was definitely in third, and Cassandra was in fourth, and Claudia was in fifth. Interesting.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Allie Tippets made it quick through the Atlas carry. I missed it.
Chris, do you want to hold back for third? Awesome. Great job.
So Scott and myself are trying to keep up with these front two ladies, and then we are going to see who's coming through for third place as Christy stays back with her. Now I'm trying to keep an eye out. Here we go. Nope, there's Dustin. We've got a camera on the rope climb, and that's where we should see. I'm expecting to see Jeff Shady come through first. I just got to keep my eye out for it. They're dropping us. Like, just look how far down they are.
Well, it also kind of just sounds like with your footsteps, Jason, that you're fighting the hill a little bit. You're not quite bombing the downhill. You're kind of sound like you're controlling your descent. Sometimes it can be harder.
With that altitude, I felt like if I pushed hard, it would just eat me up, and
Fair.
I wouldn't be able to get down at all.
Yeah, and these ladies are just letting gravity do its thing.
Here's something I'll say. Ooh, okay, so this is unfortunate. Okay, hey, we got, oh, that's not switching. Oh, come on. My button's not doing what it's supposed to do. Dang it. We just had, Matteo go through the rope climb.
No, okay.
Which means we're going to see Jeff may have already gone through. Yeah, he may have already gone through the. Yep. Here's Matteo on the multi-rig.
Now, this is the multi-reg you are mentioning that's slightly different than what we normally see in the U.S. National Series sprint.
Right. Twister right
I
at the
like
end
it.
there.
I think that's really cool. And he's
Yeah,
opting
it's a
not
cool
for the
change up.
backwards technique, but look at that, Jason. He's locking off for some reason
Mm-hmm.
as he passes through, and he makes quick work of it. I've always been in the camp that I think you'd spend more energy locking off on Twister like that. I don't think it's necessary. On some other obstacles, especially in mandatory completion races, I think it's beneficial. But I don't think it's necessary in Twister to do that. But obviously, Matteo is doing amazing and not affecting it.
So unfortunately, because we're all up the mountain with the women, we didn't have as good of cameras on the men at the finish. So we're waiting to see Jeff come into the spear throw at the end. We missed him on the rope climb and the multi-rig. He was too quick.
This looks like a really cool snowboarding course. You see these little dips they have for doing little jumps and stuff? You can tell that this is a really neat little skiing and snowboarding course.
Yeah.
It says snow on it.
Who we got here?
Another shot.
That's
It looks like
Giovanni. And then we've got John Howard III on rope climb. Gentleman in the yellow shorts.
no, that's not John Howard III. That's someone else.
In the black shorts. The guy before the first one that was
John
there.
Howard III is in the black shirt. Yeah, the one in the green. I don't know that gentleman's name. He's doing fantastic though. Here we go. Like you were saying before, we got a couple obstacles switched out for the Z wall. And once again, now there's John Howard III, and he was almost locking off at a 92. See, and he's just going to kind of monkey swing it that way. Oh, no. The gentleman in the green shorts fell. Looked like he was very much in control. Oh, man. Right at the end of the race like that. What a bummer.
So we've got Sabrina over the inverted wall. We've got the ladies at the rope climb.
Kaci Monroe seems to be picking up the pace here. She looks like she wants to close fast. And we don't see Cassandra Gill there. That's Allie Tippets. I'm starting to think this is not Cassandra Gill's day to win. But she still has a pretty great commanding lead in the points in the U.S. National Series. So I'm sure she knows what she's doing.
Oh, we just had Sabrina fail the Z wall and is taking the penalty.
Nice job. Ready to go.
All right, here's. I'm going to try and zoom in for us here real quick, if I can. This is Jeff Shady on the spear throw.
It looks pretty. Oh, man,
that's a miss.
Now, is the burpee penalty 30 or 15 right now, Jason? It's 30, right? Yeah. Man, that could totally throw off your whole race. And keep in mind, that spear throw is right at the very end. Now, these other gentlemen, if they happen to see that, they can try and attack.
Kaci and Allie still almost neck and neck. Casey's definitely got the lead on her here.
Scott, Scott, take Kaci. Kaci, first place.
Look at that. You can hear Jason Dupree, my man, directing, producing right there on the moment.
And now we've got Sabrina back there too. Now she just did a penalty loop. So could somebody close in on her?
It's not all
Right.
burpees all the time, right? There's
Only
still
on the
some
spear throw.
penalty loops. I wonder if they'll ever revert back to solely burpees.
Now, Jeff Shady missed that spear, but we still have yet to see second place come up to the spear. So he's got plenty of time to do all of his burpees. Still waiting on what I believe is going to be Matteo.
Oh, wow, and we're right back up. There's a little part of this course that goes back up and then back down again, correct?
Mm-hmm. Goes back up, then you hit the bucket carry. Obviously, you do a up and down for the bucket carry.
Of course. You know they're always going to put the bucket carry on a hill.
All right. Oh, Jeff Shady just finally finished his burpees over the finish line.
Wow.
Matteo is literally... See if I can get this shot in there. Matteo is literally going over the... Oh, there he is, coming down to the spear throw. Here, we're going to jump back just a second after Sabrina finishes this.
You got it, you got it. There you go.
She almost lost it on those rings. I'm rooting for her. I wonder if she has it in her to get to the twister.
There you go.
Oh, she's pulling up.
Oh,
wow, she's going to lock off. Yeah. Bummer.
Matteo hit.
Bummer. That's big.
Matteo hit his spear.
Is it just me, Jason, or does this spear throw look further away than normal?
No, it's normal. It's normal.
Is it normal? Yeah.
We've got Kaci already on the bucket carry. So Matteo's going across in second place after a successful spear throw.
For those who might be watching this for the first time, you'll see that those red buckets are the women's weights and the black ones are the men's weights. So there is a difference. Previous years, you were only allowed to carry the bucket one way, and now you can carry the bucket any way you want. And so you'll see a lot more people opting to put it behind their neck like that or on their shoulder.
Here comes Giovanni at the spear throw. It's funny that everybody's going through that first one.
Well,
We've
sometimes
got the women
that's
battling it out on the bucket carry.
You don't know if the other ones, the string is caught up or tangled or it's more bent than the others. But you know, if you see that one that's already stuck in there, that someone's hit it, and you can stick it as well. And so it gives you a little more confidence. And sometimes a little bit of that mental confidence can make all the difference.
I kind of missed that a little bit, but Giovanni, there he is, just hit his spear, successfully made it across in third place. Congratulations.
Here's your first,
Good
second,
battle
third
there.
place.
Kaci done with the bucket carry, and Allie's right there. She's about to finish this bucket carry, and they're going to have a fight, I think.
I mean, Casey's having a hell of a day, man. She's doing absolutely amazing. I think my money's on Kaci at this point.
Here's Cassandra Gill. Where is Sabrina? We're going to keep an eye out for Sabrina.
Cassandra is still with the jacket on, too.
That's right. And remember, Sabrina, so she's done 2 penalty loops now. She's done the Z-wall and the rig. So where is she? There she is. She's coming up behind Cassandra. So Cassandra has passed her.
Come on, girl, push through.
We do have our guys. I don't know if I can
Close race.
show this. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm not going to show this well. We've got a few guys, 4th place, 5th place on the spear throw. Allie and Kaci. Kaci getting a little practice arm throw there.
There you go.
So Allie is just
before.
Yep, Allie's just behind her. Casey's about to hit that spear throw.
She's in great control. You see her readjust her ponytail while just walking down the backside of the slip wall.
Mm-hmm.
Shows you how in control she is. Look at that. Her running carriage is really good. She's running upright. Oh, barely
That's a miss.
misses it. Oh, Here it comes down. Allie Tippett, she's got to hit this. And she can capitalize on that and close that gap in that lead. Looking very
Got Kaci
cool,
in the burpee
calm,
pit.
and controlled. Those would be the 30 fastest burpees she's ever done. Making sure that line, the little string is over the barrier. Lining it up. Taking her
Really
time.
taking her time.
Getting the breath.
That's the stick.
Sticks it. This is her to the win now. She can capitalize it. Oh, you know that's got to be demoralizing. It run right past her. Wow, she gets in first place with some cartwheels. What a
Yeah, Allie
finish.
Tippets. Way to go. Putting on a show at the end. Love it.
I tried that
So we
one
got
time,
Kaci in the burpee
and,
pit. Cassandra, and we should have Sabrina right behind her.
Let's go. She's coming.
Yep, you can hear Christy cheering her on.
Go get her, girl.
Okay, let's get where we can see
Go
this.
get her. Thank you.
I think
You got
Casey's
it.
got plenty of time.
Push. You got it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's see where we can see both of them. Yeah, Casey's got all the time she needs, and some.
She's coming. You
So it's
gotta
gonna be
move, girl.
A second place for her, but you know she had to lead the entire way.
Last final
There she
push,
goes.
ladies.
What a bummer, though, right? Can you imagine leading the whole race and then right at the final obstacle with just that spirit? What a bummer. And what we were talking about earlier, beginning of the show.
Yeah, such a strong race. I mean, when she mentioned that she was going to be strong in the mountains, and that these flat courses of the first two courses weren't really her forte, she was right. We've got a battle here. Look at this. Sabrina's making a pass.
This is the last place you want to have a battle on. You are so worn and tired. The last place you want to do is have to push hard with a bucket of rocks on your shoulder.
One of the classic battles that I can think of is Ryan Atkins and VJ Jones. I'm pretty sure on this bucket carry to finish out one of the series that VJ's first time winning the series, I believe it was.
Oh, wow. He beat out Ryan Atkins in that instance.
You guys are neck and neck.
And it came down to that last race, too. It was really amazing. There's our two rabbits. Getting in position.
Wow, Cassandra Gill. Yeah, look at that. He's going to try and pass her
Just
there.
a little couple of walking steps there.
Yeah, she's hurting.
Come on, push.
She is hurting, and she's moving a little bit, like kind of cutting her off. Say, you stay behind me. You stay behind
Come on,
me.
go.
Oh, goodness. Look at this.
Wow, this is a hell of a battle. This is fantastic.
Sabrina
Sabrina
looks
is in
more
the
taxed than Cassandra.
Yeah.
Cassandra looks in control. Sabrina looks like she's tired.
I'm sure both these ladies know this is going to come down to the spear throw. Plain and simple. I'll be surprised if both of them hit it.
Sabrina made up a little lead, though. Even looking tired, she's looking strong.
You see her, the shoulders are up high like that. I recognize that form, man. She is in the pain cave for sure.
So she's got in a few seconds. Oh, Cassandra's not sure where to go. That's a miss. It's stuck around her leg.
Oh,
I'm
she's
gonna
going
count
to do
these.
the burpees
3.
right there. She's not sure
2.
that she got to
Those
do it in
2.
the burpee center. Okay.
3.
Oh, no. Oh,
Burpee race
no.
here.
I'm telling you that distance, I could be wrong, Jason. I wasn't there. But it really looks a little longer than normal. And so now we're stuck with a burpee off. They fought like hell to get to this point. And now this is going to come down the burpees. Sweet
And,
mother
and
of
Sabrina
mercy.
is about 6 burpees ahead. If they counted, I'm not counting them all. I lost track already. But if they counted her 2 by the fence, but if not, then she's at least 4 burpees ahead.
You're on video. Make sure
I mean, you leave it all out here now.
1, 1, 2, 2.
I
3,
guarantee these ladies are sitting here watching
3,
us right now,
4.
slowing down the form on these burpees and counting them.
4. They're looking pretty even, but look how Sabrina is like shuffling down the hill towards the finish line.
Yeah, it's just slowly moving back. This is a huge burpee area. This is...
Scooted her way backwards.
No, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong. This is not the area they're supposed to be doing the burpees, correct?
No, it is. This is
Isn't
the right
there
spot.
Designated. That is the designated area. Yes.
Yeah, you could see it whenever. All right, there goes Sabrina.
Okay.
Sabrina
good on her,
definitely
man.
had like 4 burpees ahead, and they were. Oh, we missed. Claudia missed her spear as well. She came in, basically with the opportunity to get second.
I like
She
Cassandra's
did have a miss.
method on those burpees. She does the same thing I do. I just kind of collapse onto the ground. She's slamming
Right.
the ground.
Where's she at? There she is.
Some of the people are like kind of gently moving down there. No, she is slamming that ground and popping back up.
Cassandra
So
in
there's your
third
first,
place. And I think, thinking about where Cassandra is with the leaderboard, 2 first places and now a 3rd place. So we're going to look at the leaderboard in just a bit after we talk to some athletes, and we're going to see what kind of difference that makes.
You can maybe wait for her and then you can stop in.
Let's see who we got.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what the points look like. Oh, okay.
That was a hand on the back of the spear technique.
Yeah, but I've seen that before, but she did it like while moving forward, and so there's going to be some external rotation there, and it's always going to mess up that trajectory. I'm sure she's done it in practice and hit it before, and once again, it's one thing to do this in practice, right? It's a whole nother to do it while you just climbed 1,500 feet, and it is 40, 50 plus minutes into this race.
Yeah.
Easy for me to sit here in an armchair and be like, well, that was going to mess up the trajectory. But I probably would have messed it up too. She's an amazing athlete, that young lady right there. And all the more so to get everyone who's sitting on the couch right now watching this, thinking about it. Don't think about it. Go sign up. Go do it.
There goes Claudia for, I believe, 4th place.
I lost in 2
Here we go.
kilometers, I think 2 minutes. And I do the spear throw in this race.
You got it?
But and the other athletes no. But the gap is very important in the downhill. The specialists of the trail make the difference here.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
Thank
Great.
you.
Congrats. Well done. You coming back for Utah or no? Yeah? Awesome. Cool. Cool. Hey, man, great job. First place? Yeah. You mind getting a little interview? Sure. Sun's on this side, so if I get you over here, you hold this guy. All right, tell me your name and where you're from.
My name is Jeff Shady. I'm from Carmel Valley, just up north, about 6 hours.
Jeff Shady,
Okay.
first place today
He's east
here
of
at
the
Big
mountainous
Bear.
area, then.
Congratulations. Did you run the other races in the series yet?
I have not run any of the other races this year.
Is this just going to be your first one?
This is
your only
my
one?
first one this year. We had a baby about 7 weeks ago, so
Okay.
timing just wasn't right for those races. I had
Yep.
other priorities, so. But I'm happy to be able to make it out to this one.
Yeah. So you have said, how close are you?
How
Six-
close?
6
It was,
hours?
about 6.5 hour drive.
6 hours.
Yeah.
Are you going to be in Utah?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. This was fun today, so I have to evaluate that.
But no. Obviously, you're not going to be able to make 3 races of the series.
Correct.
So you're just coming out for fun.
Yeah, just
Get
for fun, mixing it up with the guys.
Get a nice podium. Is mountains normally your jam?
Not necessarily my preference, but seems like it was today.
Yeah.
Worked out all right. Yeah.
Did you find yourself in first up the hill or on the way down?
Yeah, so it's pretty much my main focus of the race was like just get a steady grind up to the hill, just see where you're at. And I know my strength's mostly on a downhill, and by the time I got up to the sandbag, That's where I found myself in first, and then pretty much everything from there was downhill. So I knew just keep pressing to the end, and I always know that we got the spear throw right here at the finish line. So I just had to keep telling myself, you got a solid lead, just keep pressing, because anything could happen to the spear throw. And sure enough, missed my spear, but I gave myself that gap.
Oh, wow.
It worked out well.
Awesome. Anybody you want to shout out?
I'd like to shout out my wife and my newborn baby, Ben,
Awesome.
for letting
Fantastic.
me be here this weekend.
Awesome. Congrats, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
With having a 7-week-old baby, he's tired of staying up all night and working hard too, and he still managed to get that win.
Take this.
And I think I biffed
Will
it
Hicks
like
there.
twice up there. What? The knees are going to be stinging
nice.
a little bit.
What's your next race?
I actually don't have any Spartans planned. I've been doing a lot of Ninja this year, so
A lot of Ninja.
I
How's
go
that
to
going?
Ninja Worlds in July,
Okay.
and then hopefully American Ninja Warrior later this year. Plan some Spartans, I guess. I like them. Talk about Ninja.
Yeah.
You can go to Utah. Well, that's what Ninja Worlds is. So maybe if I can get my husband to make me fly home the same day and do Utah, if it's on a Sunday.
Casey, what's next for you?
I'll probably do the Spartan in Montana because it's and then Utah.
What do you guys do after a sprint, long hard race? You got a favorite meal or recovery, ice baths, naps?
Go get in the lake.
Yeah, jump in the lake, hold the babies.
Yeah.
You guys both have babies.
Yeah. Mine aren't here.
Babies are the best. All right, congratulations,
You
guys.
can have one of mine.
Good race.
Thank you.
Yeah, it makes sense Casey would do that race in Montana
this is not
thing from there.
First place currently
in spring terrain.
Usually I do this one,
Okay.
but then you land on your back.
Mountain Big Bear.
Apologies, there was a mix-up with the mics.
No.
Tired. I mean, it was good to
You
be
do.
burning a little bit of elevation here, but
I think it was a downhill.
didn't quite have the extra gear I was hoping for
Oh,
today.
jeez.
That's okay though.
Yeah, kind of expected the elevation.
How's your knee? No?
Yeah,
okay?
it was a lot of like climbing there for a while, and then I think I just like didn't have quite this turnover and it's like very sandy, the dirt and everything.
My name's Will.
Trying
It's good
to
to meet you
pace
guys.
myself going into spear and just missing it, so it is what it is.
Yeah, we do. race
Yeah,
results,
but it was
live
like it's really hard to come off on a burpee off.
Anyway,
Honestly,
cool.
I feel
Well,
like
let's go.
whoever like starts the
Good
first
talking.
couple,
Thanks a lot.
it's kind of impossible to make it up. I wish it was a run, but you can't have that.
Right, you were pushing hard at the end, and then y'all burpee off. Y'all just seemed like y'all were equal the whole way through.
Yeah,
How do you think this? So that puts you in fourth place today. How do
yeah.
you think that puts you in the series?
I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see how the girls finish in Utah because I won't be there.
Yeah, that's true. Casey with 2-3 places and a second place today.
Yeah.
And first place really would have helped her out, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
I think she'll be there.
yeah. Because I don't know if she gets first. She has a second and a third. I don't know. First and fourth, is that a tie?
Was she second?
She was second today, and she's got 2/3. But so if she gets first in Utah, I don't know what 1, 2, 3 versus 1, 1, and 4. I don't know if that's a tie or
Yeah.
I don't know what the points. Yeah, I don't know how the points are if they're like distributed evenly or not.
Well, are you racing anymore this weekend?
No, no, I gotta rest up here. I mean, the really big race is gonna be Morzine now. I had my big practice all out ultra in Fayetteville 2 weeks ago, so. Yeah, I got to get ready for Morzine is the really big thing now. So going to have some long runs, high rocks doubles with my husband, and then just a couple of local New York Bethel races. So those are short.
Well, great job putting in the work today.
Thanks. I should have pushed a little more, but that's okay.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel pretty great. That was my favorite out of the 3 of the National Series races that we've done. So it's a beautiful morning and really had a good time out there.
You're from the South, right?
I'm from the East Coast, West Virginia. So we made a trip here.
Some mountains out there, though.
Yes, sir. Yes, we do. And in regard to my training, I can do the step master as much as I can, but it's really hard to prepare for something like this. But it's my favorite out of the 3. So.
Right. The
Yes.
altitude itself slow you down?
No, sir, I don't think so. I think I slowed everybody down to a point, right? No, I just kept it moving as best I could, really pushing for my calves and my quads, and flew down the downhills when I had the opportunity to do so.
in your pocket this whole time. I've been talking.
It's all good.
All right, I'm not sure if hopefully the questions got picked up.
That's all right.
But anyway,
that's all right.
So you found yourself in a battle for third, right
Yes,
at the
sir.
end there.
Yes, sir.
Cassandra was pushing hard on you.
Yes, sir. She was.
What was
she
going
was.
through your
And,
mind?
just doing the best I can and making the most of every second. I'm just very grateful to be here, and I was beyond thrilled to be able to come out with that podium today.
Well, on that spear throw, tell me what
yes,
happened.
sir. It's a hit or miss every time for everybody, right? I feel like I'm going to knock it out of the ballpark, and then you don't, and I try to knock out those burpees the best I could. So I incorporate those lots in my training for a reason.
What specifically happened on your spear throw? Do you remember?
No, sir. No, I launched it, and it didn't go in. So
it wrapped around your leg.
It did at the end. I had to step out of it to do my burpees. That's no joke. So.
And you got on the burpees, and you were a couple of burpees ahead of her.
Yes, sir.
And y'all both seemed like y'all stayed pretty consistent.
I did.
So you came out ahead.
I tried to knock out a few just right there. They moved me to the burpee zone, and then as I was doing them, I was backing up into the finish. So I don't know if anyone noticed that. I was doing them into the finish line the best I could.
Scooting down the hill.
Yes, that was intentional.
Nice so
awesome.
Anybody you want to shout out?
I'm very thankful to be here. Yes, my +1 Anna with me. She makes these trips here all the time, and I'm very, very grateful to all the volunteers, yourself included, and staff that plan these events for us at the elite level and those that are running open, doing something tough for themselves. So again, it's a beautiful morning and really happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm excited to see how this turns out for your placement in the
yes,
series.
Sir, I
Are
know.
you going to be in Utah?
That's up in the air right now. I want to see where I stand, kind of reflect, and plan out the rest of my season.
Awesome.
So
Fantastic.
thank you.
All right, congrats.
Appreciate it.
I've got to meet Sabrina Carpenter. She seems absolutely wonderful. She might be as loud as me, and just what a wonderful smile. I don't actually know her in person, but now I need to meet her.
Yeah. What an exciting race, though. I mean, I would have loved to have had more footage of the men towards the finish, but, they were pretty spread out. Jeff, Matteo, and then Giovanni after him. And the women, that's where the real battle was. I mean, we watched these people just hike up the hills for a long time, it felt like, and they kept it really close and tight. It was exciting.
Yeah, the spread was pretty much set for the vast majority of the race. But that battle for third and fourth at the very end, battling through the bucket carry, and then to a burpee off where she is intentionally doing the burpee slightly backwards. Really smart. That was brilliant. I don't think I've ever seen that in a race. But I think the excitement was definitely on the women's side today. The men's didn't switch it up that much. What a beautiful course and a fantastic race. And I am curious to see these points because Cassandra Gill mentioned that she's not going to be in Utah. That's probably why she's done these other races. She hasn't missed any other race, right? And you can miss one. So I'm guessing that's why she did it. And then once again, hey, Utah, another mountainous course. That's in Kaci Monroe's wheelhouse. It'd be really interesting to see how that changes up. We should see the numbers and kind of speculate as to if she were to get first place, what that would do for the overall series.
So let's take a look first at the men's, the top 10 for this race. We had Jeff Shady in first with 42.13. Definitely much longer than the previous two races. They were in the more like 30 minute range. Matteo Pelizza in second with the burpees, right? Giovanni Mendoza in third. John Howard the third in fourth. That's a funny thing to say. Matthew Quinlan in fifth. That had to have been the gentleman in the yellow shorts. Louis Rogel in sixth. Thomas Wierzeniak. We'll go with that.
We're not dragging me into this one.
Dustin Needham in eighth. Danny Battle in ninth. And Stephen Lamb in 10th. Great job to you guys.
Now, I want to say Dustin Needham was a little further up there. I wonder if he missed the spear throw.
He was definitely one of the guys that accidentally took the wrong turn at the vertical cargo.
Right.
So now we saw what the series looked like, and it was a full leaderboard. But now, because we've had 3 races and there's only one to go, anybody that's only done one race is basically out of the series leaderboard. So let's look at where we're at now. Only 9 people have done at least 2 races, with Matteo having done 3, all 3 so far, and he will be back for Utah.
Now, remind me, how much do you get for first place again?
300 for first place. So Adam Beach with 2 first place has 600.
Okay. Okay, so it still
So it
could
really
be
changes things up.
It does, and so I don't know Matteo Pelizza personally, but we've seen him just do really great today, and he might very well be able to pull this out and keep that lead. If today's performance was showing of what's to come, him being stronger on the mountainous courses, I think it's his to lose. But Mike Strobel, I'd love to see him come out and mix everything up. He's an amazing athlete. He's been having a fantastic year. He's a really great athlete. And, of course, Dustin Needham's been here.
Yeah, and I would be surprised if we don't see Adam and Mike at Utah. So that will be an exciting race for sure to see who comes out on top of the series.
And then just like with any of these courses, we see people that are local to the area show up that are just there to do the one race, right? They're not there to compete in the series, but they could take points away from those people that are in contention that might throw everything off come Utah. So it'll be really exciting to see what locals show up in Utah. You know, we've seen some amazing athletes come from. We've seen, Hobie Call and some of the other greats. It'd be really cool. Now, I don't think Hobie Call will be there, but it'd be really cool to see some of the other
Hawk.
greats.
We could see Hawk there.
That's right.
He was there last year.
That's right.
Took first.
Yeah, I can't see him not defending it. That would greatly throw off the points.
Now, he did run it the day after some other big trail race, too. So I'm not sure what his schedule is looking like right now. I definitely need to reach out and find out what he's got going on.
The young man is so fit, he could probably do as many races in a row as he wants and still be in contending for the win. So I can't wait to see what happens in Utah. Yep, let's see the women.
Allie Tippets hitting the spear, finishing it out in 45.58. Casey Monroe missed her spear, unfortunately, and got second, 47.20. Sabrina and Cassandra with that battle at the end, and Sabrina pulling it out just a few burpees ahead. And looking back, I didn't think about this. I didn't notice this when the race happened, but watching it back just now, I noticed Cassandra was slower coming off of the slip wall because they were basically up top of it at the same time. And she was slower coming off of this, and that's why she came into that spear throw after and gave Sabrina the extra time. So had she come off of that a little bit faster, that might have made all the difference in the world. Sabrina Buhagiar, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was going to say, unlike the previous races too, we didn't really get to see a lot of Claudia Bongiovanni. So we didn't really see much, and so I actually picked her to get higher up there in the ranking, but we didn't get to see her very much today.
Yeah, she came in, the other two races, she came in and hit her spear and really brought up her standing from where she was the rest of the race. And this particular race, she actually had that opportunity again and missed the spear this time, unfortunately.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Sabrina Buhagiar in third, Cassandra Gill in fourth, Claudia Bongiovanni in fifth, Chloe Melekian in sixth, McKenna Thomas in seventh, Savannah Salinas in eighth, Britton Ross in ninth, and Naomi Curci in 10th.
Right, Curci?
Sounds good.
Like a
Claudia, we should expect to see her and Matteo in Utah. So they'll be there. So let's see. The leaderboard, as of 3 races in, anybody with 1 race is now off the leaderboard. We've got Cassandra Gill with 3 races, Kaci, Claudia, and Sabrina all with 3 races, and Chloe with 2.
Wow.
So Cassandra's still holding first. If Kaci comes in and gets first, I'm pretty sure I did the math, and I don't think it's enough points to bring her up to first place, even if she gets first in Utah.
Oh, okay.
I think these are all what do we say? These are not official. These are unofficial results. The official results are coming from Spartan, but from the calculations that we've done, it does look like Cassandra Gill has wrapped up the series. So congratulations to her.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, congratulations. She didn't. She's never won the series before, correct?
I don't believe.
I believe she competed. If I remember right, I was talking to Vivian Tran, and I believe she competed in the age group and did really well in the age group, and possibly won the age group series, and then bumped up there to
Oh,
the elite.
yeah, her coming out and just cleaning up the way she has this year. I mean, she did. We've seen her around racing really well for a long time, but seeing her at Morzine last year and how well she did there, and then rolling right into this year with all these first place in the series, it's been pretty awesome to see that. She was she was podium in Pan American Championships last year, so she's really been just putting a lot of really good training in, and it's showing.
Yeah, it's really nice to see the Morzine race as well. If you have not seen that race, I highly recommend watching the live footage of that race. It is one of the most beautiful venues, if not probably, I think the most beautiful venue to me. It's one of my bucket list races. It's just absolutely beautiful views, brutal terrain, beautiful. It's almost artistic, right? It's got this, it's beautiful views, brutally hard. Like that's a kind of almost a beautiful poetic contrast. So be really, and I see more and more people showing up to do the Morzine race because that's also the Ultra Beast Championships, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right. It is the weekend after World's Toughest Mudder, which unfortunately I would love to be there covering Morzine, but more than likely they'll have that European team that covered it last year. Hopefully that's the case because they did a great job. We will be in the UK the weekend before covering World's Toughest Mudder, and unfortunately, I just won't be at. I won't get to make it to Morzine. I'm going to be having to come back home for that one. But we know we will see.
I doubt it would take much of an arm twist to get you to go fly to the French Swiss Alps and spend a weekend there. Spartan would not have a hard time convincing you to go cover that race.
Right, and if they were, bringing us out there, that would be different. But if having us bringing ourselves out there, kind of have to weigh the odds and get myself home to spend time with my child as well. But it would be cool to cover both of those back to back. Man, that would be wild, huh? So, any last thoughts on the series in this race?
No, what an exciting race, especially on the women's side. Beautiful venue. That's kind of what we were expecting. The points did get thrown off a little bit. I thought Cassandra Gill might win this one, and just a great race to run. If anyone sitting here watching this and on the fence, maybe you've never done an obstacle course race or a Spartan race, sign up. The community is one of the greatest parts of doing these races. You could go out there alone. You'll make tons of friends. There'll be tons of people to support you and guidance, and there's aid stations and water stations. So get out of your comfort zone, push yourself, come do one of these. You don't have to compete on the elite level. You can do it in the open wave, and you could walk the course if you want, which is still a lot harder than most people are willing to take on. So come join us. Also, make sure you're supporting the OCR Report. Like and subscribe. We have a Patreon, all that good stuff, so we can continue to bring you this coverage and commentating.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, we actually, if you haven't seen it before, we've got a lot of videos that cover all of the obstacles that are at each race. We actually have a video for Big Bear last year, and we're going to be having one come out for the Big Bear Beast this year. So the race that we just ran, I was out there filming. That's going to be coming out as well. Hit us up on YouTube. Go check those videos out. And we've got June 12th, I believe. It's going to show up on the screen at the end here. Conquer the Gauntlet. We're going to do our local race showcase for Conquer the Gauntlet this year. And then July, and then World Toughest Mudder is going to be after that at the end of June, already coming up. Can't believe it. And then the last race in the series is Utah on July 17th. So, Miles, if you don't have anything else, all good?
I do not. You have a wonderful night. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for bringing this coverage to the OCR world.
Absolutely, man. I'm so pleased and proud to be able to do so. Thank you for joining me and commentating today, Miles. Thank you all for watching. This is Jason Dupree and Miles Keller, and thank you from the OCR Report. We'll see you next time.